Anxiety, don't focus your attention on the results. Focus your attention on what you are doing for Krishna. Just like you must have heard a similar statement. Ask not what the country has done for you. Ask what you have done for the country. He says, Similarly, ask not what results Krishna is going to give you. He will anyway give you. He is the most selfless and kind and generous and magnanimous and all-loving personality. If we take one step to him, he will take 1,000 steps towards us. That's a well-known fact in all the scriptures. He sees even our insignificant service that we do with the big, big Jagannath eyes. Jagannath has big eyes because he is very attentive to our little service rendered. So we don't have to be in anxiety. I always say that. But nevertheless, devotees have an anxiety to see the fruits of their action. So I'll show you the section. So we have the Hasdene card. I have to go to this thing. This one. Okay. Print out, is it? Yeah. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udiraye Ashtaprayeshvabhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatyuttama Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nandagopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Once His Holiness Kadambakani Swami Maharaj came to Mumbai. He was sharing a very memorable story which got etched very deeply in our hearts. Even after almost three decades, I'm still remembering that story because it is such an encouraging story. So he said there was one place where people were lying in the side of the road, practically sleeping. So one man came with a basket of fruits, varieties of fruits, nicely cut in plates. There were pineapples, there were mangoes, there were apples, there were oranges, there were grapes. And then he woke up those sleeping people and distributed those different varieties of fruits to them. And they all started eating and relishing. And they were begging for second serving. He gave them a little more, he gave them. But then he told them, see, the more you eat, the more you want to eat. So if you wish, you have to follow me, come with me. I'll take you to a place where you will get them in abundance. So not everybody was ready. Some of them said, we will continue lying down here, you can bring it. You can go and bring more for us. And they continued lying down. But some of them got up and walked behind him. But then after walking a little while, they became little discouraged. They said, oh, it seems you are going to take us for a long walk. We are not ready. So they took a U-turn and came back. and they lied down also. Nevertheless, some people followed. As they proceeded, the fellow went on walking, and they saw some oasis where there were some coconut trees, palm trees, and little water, as you know, in oasis. So they asked him, "Is that the place you are taking us to?" He said, "No, that is a distraction for you. Don't go there. I am not taking you to a puddle of water, a small quantity of water. I am going to take you to a place where everything is abundant, unlimitedly available. You come with me." But some of them were not ready to continue, so they went to the oasis and they climbed up the coconut tree, took some few coconuts, and then they lied down there. And then some of them followed him. They went ahead with him. And it was almost like a desert. Sometimes the sand was hot and sun was hot also. Uh, but they were encouraging one another and proceeding in his guidance. And then they started feeling a cooling breeze. They asked, "What is this? Now we are feeling so comfortable. What is this?" He said, "This is a sign that you have approached the place very close. You are going to reach the spot which I told you." And then he took them to a large wall. There is a place, a palace or whatever. So he had the key to the uh, door. When he opened the door, he took them all in. And there were mango orchards and everything, pineapple orchards, huge quantities of trees. He told them, "Now you are here now, you can live here forever and eat as much as you want. Have a nice time." So that was a fruit they achieved afterwards. So the moral of the story that Maharaj was telling us, he said that person who came is like Prabhupada or Guru. And then all the lying down people are like the jivas who are sleeping in the lap of Maya. And he is distributing the fruits. They are like the different items of devotional service. Some of you like deity dressing, some of you like chanting, some of you like Harinam Sankirtan, some of you like reading Shastra, some of you like dancing, some of you like cooking, like that. And also Navavida Bhakti, 9 types of devotional service. So, devotional service is very tasty. It's performed very joyfully. Susukam Kartamabhyam, correct? So, when we perform little devotion service, some initial taste comes very strongly, and that stabilizes us in the spiritual life. But then, after we progress a little bit, some of them took a U-turn and came back because it requires continued practice, persistent practice. Otherwise, like even in Srimad Bhagavatam, it said, Shuta Sambrataya Acharam. He says one should hear the spiritual sound vibration for a prolonged period of time. That's like I have experience when I eat sometimes prasad, I tend to keep talking to some devotees around. Then I find my hands are dry, plate is dry completely, and very difficult to wash it. But you just go to the basin, wash basin, and fill it up with water, and then just leave it and go. Come after half an hour and you do like this, everything will come out. Because the water is soaked in the plate is soaked in the water. Similarly, if we soak Lord's name, form, qualities, pastimes in our heart for a prolonged period of time, that washes away all the impurities. It will very easily, it will do that. But if you are just occasionally hearing, it is like sprinkling water on a hot frying pan. It goes away. It doesn't stick on for a long time. But if you keep hearing, that is one of the reasons. I remember in early days in Pune, we used to have some of the congregational leaders who were coming. We used to have like 3 hours of Bhagavatam study circle. Every month we used to have. And all those people are now counselors in Pune, more than 25 of them. All are leaders now, and very ecstatically situated leaders. And they are so knowledgeable and realize that everyone, people like to sit and hear from them. But they were looking back and telling me it is because they came together and experienced the Preeti Lakshanam in each other's company. Like there is one famous verse which says that Parasparanakatanam Pavanam Bhagavat Yashah Mito Ratir Mitastushtis Nivrittir Mita Atmanah. In each other's association, devotees will feel great affection for each other. They will also feel detachment from, all that is troublesome, the material sense gratification. And they will also feel love for the Supreme Lord in coming and hearing, keeping Bhagavatam in the center. So those do it. Now I'm looking back. Actually, I didn't do anything special for them except that I just brought them and recited Bhagavatam in their company and we discussed about it. Now they all are doing the same thing. Many of them are doing everyday Bhagavatam now for 20 minutes or 15 minutes over Zoom. For many people they are doing. And our community gradually became a very big community, like almost 6,000 people. Now, one man like me cannot consider handle, and I am also in brahmachari order. Uh, how can such a big community be taken care? It's all taken care by congregation leaders who are actually keeping Bhagavatam in the center. Otherwise, it's difficult to stabilize a community and move a community. People can rebel and create problems, isn't it? So, spiritual sound vibration has a uniting effect, and also it awakens affection between devotees. So now these people followed him, went some distance, and then you saw some fellows got diverted to oasis. That oasis is earthly pleasures or heavenly pleasures. So yes, there is something like a pleasure, but it lasts for long duration of time. But it is not permanent. It's temporary ultimately. Oasis may have some coconut trees, may give you some coconut and palm and everything, but it will get over. It's, some quantity of water there. It's not a permanent place. So others followed him further. They are people who go beyond the heavenly planets. Then they went further and further and further. The spiritual life takes persistent effort, consistent study sadhana, consistent sadhana. It is not like we say Rome was not built in a day. We say no. It's not. Actually, it is very easy to begin anything in this world. It's very easy to give up after things in this world. Like even a child can take a pot and break it. It's very easy. But to maintain steadily, that is what is needed. Because Krishna says, Satatam kirtayanto mam. He says, another verse he says, Ananya chetaha satatam yomam smarati nityasha. Tasyaham salabha partha nitya yuktasya. How many times nitya satatam? He's saying, regularly, consistently, he is saying. So, if day after day, month after month, year after year, we can faithfully practice, loyally practice spiritual life, that attracts the Lord's attention. Lord feels that hey, this fellow doesn't, he is not in the mood to leave me. He is behind me. I have to now pay attention to him. He feels pity for us. This fellow is going exclusively focusing on me. The example is given of one bird called as Chataka. This Chataka bird is looking at the sky, hoping for the rain shower. And there are reservoirs of waters available on the ground. There are ponds, there are lakes, there are pools of water, but he will never look down. He always looks up. So sometimes when he's looking up, instead of rain shower, there's a lightning in the sky and thunderbolt, like that. So the bird doesn't complain. I am looking for water, why are you giving thunder? Uh, but then afterwards, the rain shower comes afterwards. Because Krishna's mercy comes as a combination of, the lightning is enlightenment, and thunder is chastisement from superiors, and the rain shower is mercy. So compassion. So you get all three from Vaishnava. Prabhupada was compassionate also. He was strong in chastising and rectifying the, things to be rectified. And he also gave enlightenment. So in this way, the Sadhaka Pakshi eventually gets the water and relishes afterwards. And all the reservoirs of water down, they are like sense gratification of different forms in this world, which come from karma, jnana, yoga, all of them. So devotee rejects all of them. And the singular ananya bhakti, when one does, then only one can get that. One requires patience, determination, focused efforts, loyalty, all these things are required. So here in this section, in this chapter, we hear about Brahma in the dawn of creation, when he was sitting in the lotus. When he opened his eyes, he saw darkness all around. The whole universe was enveloped by darkness, which also signifies ignorance. Light signifies enlightenment. So then Brahma got off from the lotus and came down through the stem and walked further to find out his identity and his purpose in life. Who am I? Why am I existing? What is the goal of my life? So he reached the navel of the Lord and he looked around. All he saw was only darkness again. Very surprising it is. Imagine somebody standing in the navel of Lord Garbhodaksha Vishnu. You look around, you can't see anything still. Although Lord is there. Because with ignorant eyes, we are unable to ascertain spiritual truths. No matter how many material things we may acquire, spiritually we remain ignoramus until we are enlightened. Then again Brahma came back to the lotus and sat, wondering what to do. At the time, Lord mercifully gave him an instruction called tapa, perform austerity. And he revealed the meaning of austerity also. Lord Krishna played on his flute and gave him Kama Gayatri mantra. Then Brahmaji picked up that mantra and continuously chanted for 100 celestial years. And it's a very pretty long period it is. 100 celestial. Celestial years means one celestial year is 36,000 earthly years. So 100 celestial means, you can imagine, 36,000 multiplied by that, 36 lakh years. So when Brahma performed this, after that when he opened his eyes, the whole universe was, lit up, as if lit up by the sun. And then he saw the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu. And he was very charmed by that. And then he saw the golden dhoti. Then he saw the jeweled belt of the Lord. Then he saw the chest of the Lord where there was Kaustubha Mani as well as the Srivatsa golden hair. And he saw the 4 bluish arms which were like bluish sapphire. And he saw the smiling face with earrings, shark-shaped earrings and beautiful helmet, mukut on the head. And Lord's cheeks were so shining that the shark-shaped earrings were glistening in his cheeks. And the Lord's teeth were what color? You will say white, that everybody knows. But it was white, but rendered rosy, rendered pinkish by the rosiness of his lips. And very, very beautiful. And glance of the Lord was like lotus petal, like eyes. So when Brahma saw this form, he was completely charmed and satisfied by this appearance of the Lord. Lord not only smiled, he came in front of Brahma and picked up both his hands and shook his hands. And Prabhupada says that's the first handshake of the universe. After that, all the managers are shaking hands. You catch a manager and ask, why are you shaking hands? They don't know. You've seen that? You ask people, why do you wear a tie? Or why do you shake hands? Because you will see that somebody asked Prabhupada, why do you have a ponytail? Prabhupada asked, why do you have a tie? So, in the now first handshake of the universe, when Lord did, Prabhupada says that became a standard for appreciating anyone. Catch their hand and shake their hands. Not only that, Lord not only gave appreciation, Lord told him that your austerities are perfect. I am satisfied with you. So I am going to reveal the Vaikuntha to you now. So then that is revelation. Lord gave the glimpse of spiritual world where Vaikuntha airplanes were flying and Vaikuntha Vasis, men and women, beautifully dressed and spotless beauties. They were flying and they were all busy in services in Vaikuntha. They were singing and dancing and absorbing in services. So Brahma got to see everything in Vaikuntha and he was deeply touched by that. And Lord told him that although millions of souls are here in this lotus, they were all shining like glowworms, like sparks, shining spark, all of us only. We were all there in that. And then amongst them, he chose Brahma as the leader of all of them. Lord said, I'm giving you a very responsible position because I'm pleased with your attitude, with your service. So I'm giving you a responsible position as the leader of the universe. So what is your responsibility? Do the secondary creation. And also, I will give you the Vedic wisdom which you have to hand over in Guru Parampara. Because if you simply give them a platform to live, put the pious ones in the upper planets and those in passion in the middle and those in ignorance in the lower planets and give them food, clothing, shelter, they will not keep quiet. After that, they're going to fight with one another. Because living entities have come with, a separate desire to enjoy. So they all will quarrel with one another. Therefore, we hand over the Vedic knowledge in the parampara. By studying the Vedic knowledge, their minds will become calm, cool, collected, and focused on the lotus feet of the Lord. So, Lord gave him this very big responsibility. He gave him a responsible position. And finally, the Lord told him that I can offer you benedictions if you want any. Brahma was thinking what to ask. And the Lord told him, for your kind information, there is no benediction greater than my darshan and my instruction, which I have already given you. Which means don't ask for anything else. Correct now? Don't get distracted by asking any other benediction. So indirectly, Lord gave him a clue. But Brahma, of course, asked a very good benediction. He said, my dear Lord, you are telling me to do secondary creation, but I have no knowledge. Unless you enlighten me of what is to be done, how is to be done. You give me the blueprint and I can just execute as per your order. And another thing Brahma asked was that in the course of my creation, there may be vicious creations also may come. And may I not get polluted by their association and get distracted from my goal. So, like that, Brahma, and then in this way, Brahma asked some 4 questions. And the Lord told him that, do not worry, Brahma. Jnanam paramaguhyam me yad vijnana samanvitam tad rahasyam tadangam cha grihana gaditam maya. He said, I'll give you all that is necessary for you to know how to do the secondary creation and Vaidhi Bhakti, Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti, Raga Bhakti, Bhavati, Prema Bhakti. I'm giving you everything. Keep everything with you. And guidance will come from me. That you have nothing to worry. As regards to bad association that you're talking about, and as regards to not becoming proud of your performance of services. Because while performing service, there are 3 bad qualities Lord Krishna says in 18.24 Bhagavad Gita verse. He says, sometimes a person in the mode of passion, sometimes one may feel sa ahankarena, he says. He feels very proud that I have done this service. Kamepsuna, one may have fruity mentality, he says. Bahulayasam means one goes into the zone of prayas, which means over endeavor. So when I do over endeavor in service, then my sadhana may get affected. Similarly, when that is Bahulayasam. And Kamepsana, when I have fruity mentality, then my service to Guru becomes contaminated. Yasya sarve samarambha kama sankalpa varjitaha jnanagni dagda karmanam tamahu panditam buddha. A disciple who renders service to spiritual master without any expectation in return, such a disciple's karmic reaction is burned to ashes. But one who does service with fruity mentality, when it is tainted with fruity mentality, then because of the tainted quality, one has some amount of karma and some amount of advancement. Our advancement is checked by that, he says. So, in this way, and then that is Kama Epsana. Kama Epsana, Baulayasam. Another one is Ahankar, Sa Ahankarena. One should not have any Ahankar. Why we should not have Mithya Ahankar, bogus Ahankar? Because if you look at our hands, legs, eyes, ears, and all, these are all gifted by the Lord to us. It's not created by us. That's the first thing. Then he says the brain that we possess, which is giving direction to all the senses, that brain is also given by the Lord. He says, Buddhir Buddhimatamas. I have given you the brain. Then all the elements in this world which we process, they are also Lord's creation. Lord says in 7.4 and 5 that he says, Bhinname Prakriti Rashtada. So, that being the case, I am not greater than any of these things, then why be proud? Dasha Prabhupada ki jai. Why be proud of myself? I am simply an instrument. For example, say you come to my home, you batter the door, I open the door. You can say that Radheshyam Prabhu opened the door, you will say, correct? Will you say Radheshyam Prabhu's right hand opened the door? You can say that, the correct answer. Or will you say Radheshyam Prabhu's right hand, thumb and index finger opened the door? Will you ever say that? You will not say I opened the door. Similarly, these are 2 living entities working cooperatively to do some work. And then they have a boss above them also. But all of them are part and parcel of the Lord. So when part and parcels do the work, the Lord should be given the glory. Because if I was not his part and parcel, I will have no potential to do any work. Imagine I cut the hand and keep on a table, and the hand cannot do any work. Like right now, my hand is able to count fingers. I can grasp objects. If I'm falling, if there's a falling object, I can stop it. Or somebody comes to attack me, I can punch on the nose. Huh? The hand can do so many activities. But you cut the hand and keep on a table, it is important. So the part and parcel is important without connection to the Lord. We are Sapeksha Satya. Lord is Nirapeksha Satya. So we are dependent on Him. So therefore, we should not have ahankara. We should be submissive. So in this way, four things I told you what Lord awarded Brahma. First, He awarded revelation of Vaikuntha title. Appreciation, revelation, responsible position, benediction. These are the four fruits of austerities that Brahma did. So we are also chanting Hare Krishna daily and practicing sadhana bhakti, everything. So you will see that you will start getting encouragement from within yourself. You will see that. Because Super Soul is standing next to us. And you will see that you get appreciation from equals and juniors and seniors also. And those who are spiritually your mentors and authorities guiding you. The more we develop a very sincere attitude in devotion service and faithfully execute devotion service, that gives us a deep sense of satisfaction, which cannot be matched with, there is nothing in this world which can match it. We use the word fulfillment. You see, in Sanskrit, there are two words, Nishreyas and Abhyuday. Nishreyas means fulfillment. Abhyuday means accomplishment. So most of the people in this world are looking for what? Accomplishment. They want to show off. Then the people think that if I get this, I can show the people. If I get this much following, if I get this thing, if I get that thing, I can show to people. So the showing to people one can do, but inside one may be hollow. One may feel lonely. There are people, Chanchan was recently telling me, there are 10 top-notch writers in the last 3 years before. And they all wrote a book which became million copies were sold and bestseller books. They wrote a sequel, but the sequel book, second book which they wrote, that only went in thousands. So out of these 10 fellows, 5 of them committed suicide. So what he was telling was, there are two words in English, self-actualization and self-realization. Self-actualization means material perfection, which Maslow said in his triangle. Food, clothing, shelter, and then status, prestige, and self-actualization. You go for finer and finer material perfection. But another thing is self-realization, that is on a spiritual plane, which has no end. You can go on advancing in spiritual life, make it finer and finer and finer, and it will go on increasing with joy also. You can experience unlimited bliss as you keep going higher and higher and higher by Krishna's grace. So self-actualization will stunt you because materially, for example, say I'm black, for example, I want to become fair. I can put fair and lovely and hope that everybody thinks I'm fair, for example. But that has a limit, you agree? How much can you put 1 inch thick fair and lovely? Now how much are you going to become fair? So material perfection has limitation. Or if I'm short, I can use a high heel. But how much high heel I can use? If I go for 1 feet high heel, I'll fall off, trip. Isn't it? So materially you cannot appreciably change the situation in which you are in. But spiritually, your progress cannot be checked. You can, in any kind of body, one can do bhakti. Animals can do bhakti. You have seen that. Animals, birds like Jatayu, animals like Hanuman and so many others, Vajendra and all. Even small children like Prahlad and Dhruva did bhakti. Anybody in any walk of life can practice bhakti. So the point is, if you want encouragement in spiritual life, we should consider these 4 points. Lord gave appreciation, revelation, responsible position, and benediction. So every devotee gets that. You get appreciation from externally and also from internally. You get appreciation, and the revelations are the different stages of advancement in spiritual life. In each stage, you get some newer and newer entrance into higher and higher depths of spiritual life. So if you read the Madhuri Kadamini, very nicely it is explained there. These things are very vividly explained there. And Responsible position may be given to you if you are seen to be a very committed devotee. Services will come to you. Seniors will see and ask you to do a particular service. Like Shamananda Pandit was awarded with Jiva Goswami to, sweep the Seva Kunj, where he got Radharani's mercy, isn't it? So ascending service, descending mercy. So service goes in the Guru Parampara, and then Krishna is pleased, he gives the mercy to Radharani, and then we all get it subsequently. If somebody is escaping service, then they're escaping mercy, isn't it? So, and then benedictions. The Lord gave many benedictions to him in the form of knowledge, in the form of protection. So you also get protection. The superior sees that you are entering a lot of service, you are committing yourself, they feel concerned about you that, oh, this devotee is a sincere soul. I would like to see that devotee is protected. So this is a section from 2:9:20. You all can read it at your leisure. What Lord is telling. These four things are mentioned in this section from 2:9:20 onwards, up to 29, I think. So now 5 minutes we can take some discussion and we can conclude. And we would like to welcome Dev Madhav Prabhu. Haribol. I was very fortunate to meet him. Yesterday I was thinking that, alas, everything is rigidly fixed in my schedule. I have my flight today and I can't meet. I was thinking, and today morning, Yugalak gave me a good news that Dev Madhav was coming here. I could spend some time with him. Thank you, Prabhu. Would you like to comment, Prabhu? There's another mic.
I really appreciate this section, and I'm happy you spoke from it. Thank you for sharing those breakdowns. A little later on, Lord Brahma is expressing worry that he's going to become contaminated by that seva.
Yeah.
It's a big thing that he's been asked to do. And then the Lord says, everything you've already done is by my grace, and I'll protect you through that potential contamination. But then very soon after that, we see lots of problems for Lord Brahma. So sometimes there's a doubt that protection won't come. And how would you speak to a person who has that doubt? Because the Lord said, promise, right? I'll take care of you. But then lots of problems apparently happen very soon after that.
Actually, Lord will never test us beyond our capacity to tackle. Haridas Thakur had to face Maya Devi herself coming for tempting him. I don't think any of us will be tested like that. Lord knows our ability, isn't it? Actually, just consider this example. Your mother wants a toddler child to walk himself. Although the child is saying, Mama, Mama, please lift me, she will just give her finger and say, try to walk. Or she will escort the child with both the hands. Because she wants to see that the child is, growing up and doesn't have the butter feet. He has to learn to get strength in the legs. But no mother will be joyful to see a toddler falling on the ground and suffering. She wants to see the child successful. Similarly, Lord also wants to see us successful when He allows Maya to test us. And He says, Mameviye prapadyante, Maya me tam tarantite. So, in each situation, therefore Krishna consciousness is the moment after moment consciousness. It is not that I have become Krishna conscious. Nobody can say that. It's a ongoing. It's a process. It's not a product. So at every moment, Lord wants to keep the situation very dynamic for us. Because if it is not dynamic, even when Lord left the assembly of the gopis in rasa dance, because he wanted to intensify their love for him. That's one thing. And the gopis are all thinking that Krishna is only with me. So they were disunited, and Krishna wanted to unite them. He united them in grief, and by disappearing from them. So many more things happened in their pastime. Even he left Radharani also at one point of time. So Lord wants to keep our bhakti fresh. And when does it remain fresh? It's like we say, newer and newer situations Lord puts us in, where there will be more and more dependence of the devotee on the Lord, and then exchange will become more sweeter. Just like, say, a child is playing with a teddy bear, and the mom is calling, come, let's play together in garden together. But the child is more interested in teddy bear. Suddenly a bumblebee comes. A big bumblebee. You've seen that stout one? When that comes, the child throws away the teddy bear and comes running to mother. And then mother picks up the child and Sometimes mothers throw up in the sky and catch the child. And child enjoys that very much. Child thinks, "Hey, this game is better than the teddy bear game." Similarly, we are playing with teddy bear like dead matter in this world. When Lord sees that his devotee is becoming distracted by some material allurement, then he gives a side slap. Or he pinches the devotee and the devotee wakes up and goes running to Lord's lotus feet. So I see that every situation that comes in my spiritual life is an orchestration by the Lord, whether it is pleasure or pain that may come in our way. And it should actually intensify our surrender to Him. He says that, Bali, Maharaj says, whatever comes from you is only love, he says, even if it is apparently some punishment also. You can add Prabhuji to that. Thank you. Yugalakshya Prabhu, one point from your side. In. Only another 2 minutes I have. That's all. 5 more minutes? Okay. You can comment on this subject. You know a lot. Yugalakshya Prabhu came here single-handedly and started this center from the scratch. And he built a big community in Detroit here and made this beautiful center. In future, this hall will become 3 times bigger because he's increasing the devotees now. He'll make a bigger facility. He'll make eventually, yeah. Because of one good soul, so many other devotees have become aligned here, and wonderful preaching and services are going on here so nicely. Yesterday, I went to that university program, and so many of them. One group had come from Grand Rapids, Prabhuji had brought, and another group of devotees who are currently cultivated by Yugalakishore Prabhu were there also yesterday. Very wonderful audience. Many have come to 4 to 6 rounds, many of them, even younger ones. So it's a very good sign when you are actively preaching and bringing more and more people to the fold of Krishna consciousness. Very, very nice to see. I'm coming first time here, but very, very deeply inspired. Maybe when I come next time, I also want to see Deva Mother Prabhu's project and also Grand Rapids. Shamananda? Shamananda Krishna Prabhu. Kalakanda Prabhu was telling that Sri Shamananda Krishna Prabhu is a brahmachari, but he has made Krishna house very successful. He said, because Krishna house actually mostly is a good facility for many, many grihasthas can come out of that. And it is a very unique type of outreach. But he said Shamananda Krishna Prabhu could understand it well and it's doing well. When he was in Gainesville, he told me. Very nice. Yesterday I met many of your students here. Very nice to meet. So this is a very beautiful project. Actually, the small is beautiful, as we say. Like in Pune, we had a small temple way back when I came in 1995. The temple hall would become packed. But later on, when the new temple came up, the temple hall is so huge and thousands of people come. Yearly, we get 1 million people visiting the temple. Every year, we keep a track of the visitors. We have a screening device. We keep track of how many come in and go. So the challenge is when so many people come, it becomes very difficult to keep track of everybody. We have one chanting group. Every day, about 300-400 people chant one round. And then we also announce the next day morning to the deities. So many people chanted the holy name. Out of that, 20 people agreed to chant one round daily. We give them a japamala. These kind of things we are doing, giving them prasad, giving them holy name, putting them in kirtan. So, and then a little more serious once you put them through the courses and we're trying to solidify. But even after solidifying, when the number increases, paying attention to each and every individual becomes very challenging. So it's very nice. You have a very nice project. During this phase of your temple, you all can come together and recite Bhagavatam and intensify your sadhana very nicely. I thank Yugalakshya Prabhu for the opportunity he gave me. So many wonderful programs in the last couple of days. Thank you, Prabhu. Shri Prabhupada ki, Radheshyam Srimad Bhagavatam ki. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you very much for coming and it's actually very good. We've been long and so people here.